And let's be real. Thank you for joining me today. Miss Erica is in the building.
Hey.
Um, it's great being back today. We don't have Brenna in the building tonight, but she will be with us soon. So today we're definitely gonna have very interesting topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. So hopefully, some of you can join us tonight and give us, some insight. So if you have anything to say, remember that you can put it in the comments. But let's be real. Most relationships don't fail because of cheating. Exactly. They fail because of stress, pressure, and real life situations that sometimes nobody warn us about. So definitely today we're gonna get into it. Hey y'all, it's your girl Dominic, and we have a special guest in the building today, which is Miss Erica, as I stated earlier. And again, thank you so much for joining me today on Real Chill Conversations. This is our safe space to um, talk about things that most people, sometimes are afraid to speak about. So today, let's get into the topic.
Yeah, let's get dived in. And thank you for inviting me on your podcast. I'm ready.
Thank
Hey,
you for being
everybody.
here.
Got Erica, EC, just being me. Let's get started.
And Miss Erica, before we get started, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
I'm on Facebook as Erica Black Kane. If anybody remember all my children, her name was Erica Kane, but mine is Erica Black Kane Carter. So if you pull me up on Facebook, Erica Black Kane, the only Erica Black Kane.
Okay, y'all heard that.
Instagram is the same thing. Instagram, same name.
Okay, that's cool. So, you all know where to find her. So if you can, follow her pages. Definitely Miss Erica do a lot on her pages as well. Um, and she has a lot of content on there that you all can watch and stuff like that. So because you skate too, right? And you have it
Oh
on there.
yeah, skating.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you brought that up because you mentioned stress and that's therapy. Skating is relieving stress. So yes, I do skate. I'm a skater. So let's get
Yeah.
started.
She be skating in these Atlanta streets.
Yeah.
um,
Cascade, sparkles.
there you go. So today we are talking about how relationships change when life gets hard and heavy. And, when the kids come, the money problems come, when stress come, and everything in between, because it's so much that comes with it that is just, sometimes these things can knock us off really quick if we don't get control of it. So this is why I wanted to talk about it, because a lot of people go through this, and
Mhm.
I found myself in my younger years going through a situation where it was very stressful. So I had to try to find different ways to cope with things. I mean, this is something, this is a part of life, Miss Erica, that no one really teaches you, but we all go
Yeah.
through it in one way or another. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. Relationships takes work, and growth. You learn from, you know, I can go on and on about all the different relationships I had, but again, it makes you better. So yes, I'm with it. Let's get started. What you got any questions as far
I
as relationship?
Yes, I do have a question.
Hmm.
How do we expect love to be?
And
How do
and
you think most people like expect love to be when you first get into it?
and I think a lot of people go into relationships with a title. They don't get to know a person. They don't get to, a relationship. You should learn a person as a friend first, and then
Absolutely,
let it
I
turn into
agree.
a relationship. So when you go into a relationship and you put titles on it and you've been dating, let's say a couple of weeks, 2 months, and all of a sudden this is your boyfriend, now you're playing the girlfriend boyfriend role. But you haven't even learned the person as a friend. You don't know they likes, they dislikes, all of a sudden you're a girlfriend. So now the expectations is higher because now you think you got to walk into a role as a girlfriend instead of
Oh,
learning someone, being a friend first, getting to know who that person is, getting to know that person. That way, no, if it doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to be, no hard feelings. You into it for a friendship. We are not in a relationship. So we learn that. I think friends first before they get into a relationship are the best relationships because they already learned each other as a friend. Now they can get into a relationship. Now we're a partnership. We're a couple.
now I like
Mhm.
that you said
Mhm.
that, Miss Erica. And let me ask you this question because when most people get into relationships, like they be wanting you to play that role too soon without having a ring or anything, or vice versa. It could be a male. But how do we get how how do we get past that? Like from being with somebody and automatically going into that.
I think boundaries. Go into it with boundaries, communication. Let somebody know what you know in the beginning, from the beginning. You know, I'm single, I'm dating right now. I just want to get to know you. Honesty, be honest, speak your truth. Straightforward, it might hurt people's feelings and everything, but I'd rather be honest than to just sit there and play with people's feelings and mislead and say, yeah, be honest. If you're not ready for that relationship, tell them in the beginning, hey, we're dating. We're friends. I might be seeing other people. Or I might not be seeing other people. I might just be single and just by myself. But right now, I'm not going to put a title on it, but we're going to respect each other. So I think the
Exactly.
key word is boundaries in the beginning, setting boundaries.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So,
Yeah.
most of us go into relationships thinking love is supposed to stay the same. Um like
Um,
like that first feeling should last forever. I don't know why we do this for some reason, but is it really how life works, y'all? Like, is it
Right.
really how life works?
And then is it love or is it lust? Some people go in a relationship and think it's love, but it's not love. It's lust. That's two different feelings. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like I
think
love
about that.
love, but love
What?
comes love comes along the journey. When you when life is not doing good for you and things are doing bad and everything is going the left instead of right, then love comes in place and now you know what true love is versus, oh, I love this person, and you don't even sometimes you don't even know a person after a
All
year.
the way. Yes.
Right. So is it love or is it just a different type of feeling you having? Maybe
Because to
you
me, we're learning each other.
exactly learning each other, learning the good and the bad, you learning each other. So that's something that's again, I go back to boundaries and friendship, learning who that person is. Because if you with somebody and you're around somebody and they're your friend and you get to know the good and the bad after a while, now you can move into the next level because now you're in a safe place as a friend to make a decision if you want to move forward into a relationship or you just want to remain friends.
Exactly.
Boundaries.
If this is what you really want. Miss Denise Diaz said, right, be friends first. I agree with that. Be friends first.
Hey, Denise, that's my sister. That's my sister.
Hey.
But
Hey,
you're right.
Denise. And Miss Felicia Lisa Cole said, hello. Hey.
Hello.
Thank you for so much for joining us, y'all. And but what actually happens in real life? What happens in real life, I feel like sometimes we moving way too fast. Like Miss
Yeah.
Erica saying, moving way too fast and expecting things to be a certain way, expecting things to be fairy tale like. And it's
Hmm.
cute. I love fairy tales. I love to watch them. But it unfortunately it's not real life, right? Because we get to the point where we have bills, we get kids, we have responsibilities, exhaustion, pressure. Everything just shows up sometimes all at once.
And that's a good
Um,
point, what you're saying, Udelka. Because as a women, like you said, we get exhausted. We do so much. Run errands, take care of the kids, work full time. And when you have a partner, it's supposed to be a partnership. You don't want to live every day by day
exactly.
in survival mode, or you want to feel like I got to do this, I got to do that. That's why it's very important to find time for yourself and your partnership. If your partner is the type of person that love you, he should want that for you. He should want not you to take the whole load and do everything and not have no self time for yourself. So when
I
you
love
say we
it.
go through a lot, I agree with that. And we as women, we need to kind of be at ease and get out of survival mode. If you got a partner, you guys come together as helpmates. Not I'm doing everything on my own, cooking, taking the kids to school, working full time, and then you do nothing all day and then expect me to come and be a wife and be a mother and be a co-worker and be all of that. Where is the partnership? Where is the care? Where is
Where's the
baby?
partnership? Yes.
Exactly.
I think and that works both ways,
Hmm.
not just for women but men too, because men need
Great.
support sometimes, and
Absolutely.
it may not be financially, but as far as emotionally, I mean, men go through a lot too. Um,
Absolutely.
we
I agree.
have we have Vanetta Morgan says, let me read her comment.
Hey, Vaughn, that's my
Says,
bestie from the side. What up? My people
okay.
supporting me. Hey.
Okay, yes, they are. They're in here. I think relationship is a compromise. Be able to weather the storm after effect. At the beginning, it always cute, but what happens when cute is not cute anymore? Do you leave or do you stay?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'm gonna throw that in there, Miss Vonetta. Do you leave or do you stay when it ain't cute no more? What are we doing?
Right. What
She
are we
said, meet
doing?
me in the middle.
I agree. I agree.
And you know
Because
what?
once the love and our lust goes away, now the work comes. You know.
Exactly. And we talk to our kids about these things when we say, um, just real life in general. We talk to our kids and we tell them, hey, you're going to see how things are when you grow up and see it for yourself when you're grown. Like, you better enjoy the childhood years because, baby, yes, like life can get there. So we just oh, she said on both ends. Yes, on both ends.
I agree.
That's
I agree.
that's the compromise. It is, and it's a compromise, and I feel like more understanding should be available to you in any relationship, not just, your partner, but any relationship that you have with your mother, your dad, your friends. I believe that understanding is a very big part of why things don't work out sometimes.
I agree, Udelka, because misunderstanding and can cause a lot of confusion in a relationship. Learn how to, it's good to learn how to communicate, not assume. We assume a lot, and understanding is very important. You know, we
Yes.
can get mad about things that's so petty and just communication. And like you mentioned about it go both ways. We got to learn how to communicate. Women sometimes, we might have a partner, and the first thing we want is them to take the garbage out, right? So they're
Yep.
not taking the garbage out. But instead of communicating that to our partner, we can be petty sometimes. So what we'll do is let the garbage fill all the way up to the top and say to ourselves, I hope he see this garbage all the way to the top and take it out. And he might walk right past and not take the garbage out, but we instantly got an attitude. I can't believe he
Yeah.
walked past because men think different. So while they throwing stuff in the garbage, we sitting back like, did you just walk past and not take
And
this
don't
garbage
say
out
y'all
and
don't.
not say anything? But we ain't already just left the garbage. We gonna leave it just like that so you can see it instead of saying, you know what, babe, that the garbage is kind of high. Can you mind taking the garbage out for me? Communication. That's
I
simple.
love that. Yes, yes. And don't say we don't, y'all, cuz
We do, we do. We can be petty, but you made a good statement. Communication, you know, get out of those negative thoughts. We can spiral in negativity, and think about things and assume, but that's what the word assume is, assumption. You don't know until you ask. That's what I was always taught. A closed mouth don't know anything until you ask. So communicate, and
but
it's the
some
way you
people, what do you
communicate.
say? You say, okay, now that you mentioned that, what do you have to say to the people that say, well, I shouldn't have to say anything? That should be normal.
That's the problem. We assuming it's not normal. We men don't think like we think. We can't assume that someone should know something. And we do think like that. We do feel that way. I shouldn't have to say anything. Now, once you mention it over and over again, I get it. That's when the communication come after. That's after the communication. Then that's a whole nother topic. But when you communicate, this bothers me. This is what I don't like. This is what I do like. Then you got the communication out. That partner, that person, whether
Yes.
it's your partner or your friend or your coworker, should understand where you're coming from because you communicated that to that person.
Yes. So now you're still in love, but now you're tired, stressed, and trying to survive the days. And now that changes how you show up for each other. So, can we say some truths out loud?
Yeah, you can get tired and exhausted, and that's what self-love, the self-care comes in. You gotta find some time for yourself to release that. It's nothing wrong with self-care. Find something that you like to release that. When you put too much on yourself, you get exhausted.
Absolutely. I'm so big on self care and self love because I feel
Mhm.
like, some people think it's selfish, but I actually think it's wonderful because if you're able to dedicate time to yourself and love on yourself, then you're definitely going to see the value on doing that for someone else. Um, I
Absolutely.
mean, it's just my personal opinion, but I'm very big on that. And sometimes, I might go left a little bit and be like,
Oh,
okay, I'm tired of this, SHIT or whatever. But I come back around. I come back around because I have time to reflect and, you know, kind of like I love trying to understand people. I think that's
mhm.
because I love to do that. I always come back around. I'm like, okay, let me rethink this because it's not always what I think. You know, you have to also think about what the other person is thinking and how they feel. And you have
I
to be very
agree.
mindful of that. It's not just about you. Um,
Absolutely. It's
so
not just about
sometimes,
you. Mhm.
sometimes it's not. I don't think the love actually disappears. It just get buried until we
Mhm.
can fix everything else. And if we don't learn how to communicate, like you said, through these tough stages in our lives that we're going to experience in relationships because it's the normal human thing, that's when distance kick in.
I agree. That's when distance kick in. Then you got some partners that all they want to do is prove their love. Prove, prove, prove.
Prove, prove,
And as
prove.
long as you're proving yourself to your partner, you don't give that partner time to approve their self to you. You proving to them, let them approve themselves to you. You got to go both ways. Take a break. You got people want to do everything and prove this and prove that. But sometimes you got to sit back. Proving yourself to someone doesn't, you don't give them the time to approve themselves for you. You want to sit back and see what they're going to do on their own.
Absolutely. And I feel like you can love someone and still feel overwhelmed. I don't think that life ruins love.
I
To
agree.
me, it actually reveals it. It reveals if a person um really loves you actually.
Yeah.
So I think that tough times is not as bad as it looks. It can
Right.
definitely work out. So the real question to me here is, are we growing together or are we just going through life next to each other?
Mm, that's a good question. What do the audience think?
Miss Vanetta
Mm,
says,
good question.
compromise, that is the magic word. And then she said, but here is some truth. Each partner shouldn't be aware of your reactions and vice versa. Let's speak truth. We as women think that the men should cater, but what about the cater we give to our man?
Mm,
Let's speak truth. We as women think that man should cater, but what about the cater we give to our man?
both
What you got to
ways.
say about that, Miss Erica?
No, I agree. It goes both ways. We do cater, but what about what they do for us? To me, I was always 50-50. You know what I'm saying? And it's the small things that count. I don't go into a relationship trying to level it up. What you do and how much I do and for you. And I'm so strong on partnership and communication and, just meeting each other halfway. There's we can go on and talk about how much a woman does for a man and what type of woman you are. Some women, I'm not a submissive woman. I don't do this and I don't do that. Alone is both partners making each other happy and both come to boundaries and agreement on what they need to do into their marriage or into their relationship. I think it just works out.
So, do you really feel like life makes it harder to stay connected with someone you love, or you're just making it
Yeah.
harder?
I mean, life is life. Stress comes every day, but it's all about your mindset. How do you deal with that? Life stress. Stress takes away your peace, your patience. It can take away your grace. It can completely redefine your communication style. So, the better a couple is, I believe the better a couple, helping each other with their concerns and everything and managing their stress, the better the relationship is. Stability. And it all
Uh,
goes back to communication.
yes, it all goes back to communication. And I love this. This was a great episode, Miss Erica. Do you have any final thoughts on this episode today?
No, I just say live in your own truth, continue to be honest, straightforward, grow, you know.
Do
Um,
you have any advice on when life it gets hard, how to maneuver? I know you said I like when you said redirect.
hmm
I
I said a
love when
couple
you
of
said
things,
that.
redirect, redefine,
Redefined. Yes.
hmm oh,
Redefine communication.
communication, um, learn to condition your thoughts, don't overthink things. You got to learn how to condition your thoughts. Sometimes we get in our own way by overthinking things.
Yes, we
Effective
do.
communication. I agree. Effective communication. That's the number one key. You effectively communicating, great. You know, that's effective. Not sometimes every day, effective communication. And don't live in spiral of negativity. And always
Oh,
have a safe place with your in a relationship.
that is a good one. That is a good one. And I'm glad you talked about, well, mentioned negativity because life gets hard that sometimes we can fall into that trap. So I always try to keep, it's hard. I'm not going to
It's
lie, y'all.
hard.
It's
It is.
hard. But sometimes, I have talked to you before, Miss Erica, about different little things, and you can
You
always
did.
redirect me into a positive,
Mm-hmm. And we
positive
come
view
a
about things.
long way, and from years ago. So you absolutely, and we
Yes.
all have patterns. We all have patterns. Everybody do things, but you learn how to invest in your healing. That's what I say. Invest in your healing, and the only way you can break your patterns is to develop your own awareness.
Yes.
Once you develop
Develop
your
your
own
own
awareness,
awareness.
you can break your patterns.
This is love, growth, and real life. And we're
Absolutely.
learning and we're
Mm,
learning and growing. That is the whole point of everything, right?
that
Life will
is.
change. Life will change love, but it doesn't have to end it, y'all. And
Absolutely.
think about what we talked about today, and just be honest with yourself about where you are in your relationships. And I'm not just talking about your partner, but any relationship that actually means something to you. Ask yourselves, are you growing with this person, or you just going through life with
Right. Through the motion.
them, through the
Yeah.
motion. The point is to grow and learn. That is the point.
Absolutely. I like that.
So
Grow
I
and
will leave with
learn.
that today.
Absolutely. Pleasure, pleasure. This was great.
I
Great,
love
great.
this.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Miss Erica, for being here and joining me today. My co host is actually not here today, but soon she will be soon. So we would like to invite you back on the podcast. If you would like to come back, just let me
Absolutely.
know. And, you can always pick a topic because I love when others pick topics as well because, sometimes y'all don't just want to hear what I got to say or my topic. And other topics are very interesting. We can dive into them. And, I just love when other people have their input as well.
Absolutely.
So, bye, y'all, and
Bye,
have a
y'all.
good
Love, peace,
night.
and happiness. Good night.
Yes. All right. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.